Okay, hi Parima, let's take a look at your new writing tasks for us. Okay, this is the one about the German school subjects. Here's what you said. The pie chart shows the percentage of subjects' popularity in different topics, history, PE, etc., from school in Germany in 2017. Okay, that's okay. I think there was a clearer way of saying this. First of all, remember a grammar rule that we don't typically put an apostrophe S to make something possessive when it's not a living thing. So that's one thing you could have done to make this clearer. Let's see what else you could have done. The pie chart shows the percentage of popularity for different subjects, okay, from schools in Germany in 2017. All right, it's probably a better way to say that. It is interesting to see from the chart that physical education not overtaken the popularity. That's not accurate. You could have just said was the most popular. And we don't know for sure that it's just one school, because if you look at it, it says school subject. Let's see, does it tell us in the, no. It's just in general in Germany, so I don't think it's just from one school. So it's interesting to see from the chart that physical education was the most popular in German schools, followed closely by history, with the percentage of popularity at 20.4. You can't say both amount and percentage. These two subjects, PE and history together, took almost half of the whole chart. Okay, I'm glad you did that. That was a good thing, because this is one of those hard pie charts to write about, just because there's so little information and all you have to do is just compare things to each other. So I'm glad that you found a way to make this meaningful and to say different things about it. So that was good. Okay, mathematics and physics revealed the second highest subject's popularity. Well, I don't think you can quite say that. They weren't second highest. They were actually third and fourth. No? Because you just told us that history was the second. So look, first, second, and then third and fourth. So to say that they're second most popular is really inaccurate. Yeah, I get what you did. You kind of grouped the first two together, but that doesn't make them equally popular, okay? So be careful with that. So let's try it again. Mathematics and physics were the third and fourth most popular subjects, with the proportion at almost 1/5 each. I think you mean here. You have to be careful here. So when you say 1/5, do you mean together they made up a fifth, or do you mean separately they made up a fifth? So if separately they made up a fifth, which is what I think they did, you need to say at almost 1/5 each. It is also clear that some of the subjects in German schools, such as biology, geography, and IT, were not as popular as others, with 7.1, 6.4, and 3.7% respectively. Nice. Comparing physical education to IT, the popularity of the highest topics percentage was 7 times larger than that of the lowest. Oh, that's a nice sentence. Good. Overall, the class which was the most popular among students in German schools, S, was physical education, whereas IT experienced the least popularity from the chart in 2017. Okay, that was good. Let's check your word count really fast. Yep, you're fine, 170 words, so that's not a problem. I think that apart from some of the grammatical errors that I saw that were a little problematic, one thing that I would add is that I felt like you kept referring to that most popular figure a lot. Let's see. I mean, maybe you didn't. Maybe you just talked about it twice, but it just felt kind of a lot. Actually, you know what? You mentioned it here, you mentioned it here, and then you mentioned it again in your overview. So this probably was just a little too much. I understand why you did it, but it still was a little too much. So keep a sentence here, but don't make it the same thing as your overview. That, I guess, would be my advice here, to avoid repetition. The language you used was really nice, especially this phrase here, was 7 times larger than that of the lowest. That was great. So that's the kind of that's an example of the kind of structure you want to be using here. All right, good job. Let's take a look now at your task 2. part-time jobs. Let's see what you said. Experts throughout both the developing and developed world have debated the issue of whether working part-time benefits the students or distracts them while studying has grown in importance for several years. Okay, some believe that it is better for students to find more financial support, yet I personally disagree. This essay will discuss the disadvantages of doing part-time jobs using examples from Oxford University without the and the UK government to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Okay, nice, clear, fine. There is ample evidence that pupils should be focused on their lessons more than working, despite its financial support. The central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, it is significant for students to take more responsibility on their tasks, on their tasks, such as homework or a dissertation. Get rid of accomplishment. Secondly, pupils should be concerned with examinations or use their extra time to review the lessons. For example, recent empirical research by Oxford University demonstrated that students without part-time jobs tend to not result better, but tend to produce better results, or tend to fare better, or do better on their examination reports, or even graduate faster than students with less time to review and practice. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that working part-time will not benefit, get rid of academic achievement of students. Okay, there were a lot of nice elements here in this paragraph. It was clear, good vocabulary, good grammar, with a couple of mistakes, but the thing that concerns me is up here. Basically, what did you do? You had, let's see, you had essentially one reason here why you're against part-time jobs, and the reason is that you think that students should focus on their studies, okay? And you kind of split it up, but not really, because what you were saying is that they have to be responsible for their assignments, and then you also said that they have to review their lessons, which is really just the same thing, okay? Okay, so it was essentially one reason. Where is that a problem? Well, it's a problem when you look at the task again and you notice that it says the benefits outweigh the disadvantages. So they're telling you here that there's more than one disadvantage, but you really just focused on one. And that's not what you want to do. When you see something like this, benefits plural and disadvantages plural, you have to present more than one of each, okay? This essentially was one. Now, another thing, if you want to say, for example, no, there were two disadvantages. Well, if that's the case, then you need to develop your paragraph like that. So you have one reason here, all right, like this first main idea, you should support it. Okay, don't just put one piece of support for two main ideas. Put a piece of support for each main idea. So main idea, support, main idea, and then support. Okay, let's move on. Moreover, although temporary jobs after school, you don't even need to say dismissal time. It's just not a natural expression. Just after school is much more appropriate. So moreover, although temporary jobs after school can provide some work experience to learners, focusing only on their studies will increase opportunities, it's not just one opportunity, to attain their degree and find good jobs. This is because, when comparing an application of students with distinctive certifications and that of poor performance, companies would normally hire those applicants with higher academic feedback. This can clearly be seen from the statistic of the UK government that if a citizen has a merit certification, the opportunity, it's not an opportunity, the chance of being unemployed will be less by 40%. Consequently, it is possible to state beyond doubt that the largest drawback to work while studying is the decrease in career opportunities, IES. All right, again, it's the same thing happening here. This is essentially just one main idea, okay? From the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that doing part-time jobs may provide students some extra income and experiences. Nevertheless, it is more important for them to pay attention to their academic discipline in order to avoid an unsteady career in the future. Okay, so now let's go a little bit more into the prompt itself. We've covered quite a bit about your task achievement and the way you develop this essay. I do want to talk about one other thing that I find very important here. Remember what the question asked you. Do the benefits of this outweigh the disadvantages? Essentially what they're asking here for you is to describe them both. So you can't really answer this question unless you do discuss the disadvantages and the benefits. I didn't see that you did that. And in fact, you even told us here that you were just going to discuss the disadvantages. Okay? So I believe that it is very important to also discuss the benefits here. And so an examiner looking at this is going to think that you only answered half the topic. All right, and that's going to really decrease your task achievement score. So this kind of question is essentially asking you to discuss both in order to present a conclusion. All right, so keep that in mind. It's not enough to just write the disadvantages here. All right, so go ahead then, Parima, and correct these essays. Let's see more work from you in the next day or so. I'll be looking forward to it. Good luck.